Hey, Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue here, and the clue to follow the money is just as true on Wall Street as it is in uncovering Washington scandals, and we could be looking at both of them in today's video. That's because the complete list of 37 donors paying over $300 million to fund the White House ballroom construction has just been leaked online, and I'm going to reveal the companies and the stocks that could benefit. Now, we don't get political here on Let's Talk Money, but we do follow the money, and right now, $300 million is flowing in from those corporate and the private donors to build over 90,000 square feet of White House ballroom. Now, that complete list of all 37 donors, billionaires, and trillion-dollar companies is trying to get a word into Trump's ear. Now, of course, that $300 million is just a fraction of the $4.5 billion companies and special interests spend lobbying the government each year to get their way. But if you know anything about this president, he is transactional. You scratch his back, he's going to scratch yours. And that means this could be the best money these companies ever spent. So let's follow that money and which stocks could get this special treatment to benefit and see their stock prices go higher. I'm going to take you through this entire list, the 37 White House ballroom donors, all the corporate, all the family donations, even the private donations being made. I'm going to detail the biggest winners and which stocks I'm buying. But within this 21 companies donating and even the 16 private and family donations, we can see within these, there's three major groups that stand out that you want to follow. First, you've got tech companies trying to get protection and lower tariffs, trying to get him back into Trump's good graces after what was really arguably a very bad first term for those companies. We've got crypto companies and the coins wanting the president to further his commitment to make the U.S. really the most crypto-friendly nation in the world, opening up the U.S. to cryptocurrencies. Then we've got vice stocks, we've got tobacco companies, we've got gaming companies and casinos looking for more lenient regulation and oversight. Starting off first with those tech companies, we see major donations from Meta Platforms, that's ticker META, Apple, AAPL, Amazon, AMZN, Alphabet, GOOGL, and Microsoft, MSFT. Basically, the entire Magnificent Seven list, except for Tesla. Tesla was really an interesting laggard in this list that did not appear on this list. You've also got Micron Technology, ticker MU, and HP Inc., ticker HPQ. Now, of course, most of these names have a long and mostly bitter relationship with the president. Trump has threatened over 25% tariffs against Apple, specifically if it doesn't move iPhone production onshore. He's constantly tweeted with the Amazon founder Jeff Bezos during his first term. If you don't know, Jeff Bezos, one of the world's richest men, founder of Amazon there and former CEO, owns the Washington Post as well, a typically liberal newspaper there in Washington, obviously very much focused on the government. So it brought a lot of stories about President Trump that he did not like. That was in connection with that and a lot of those tweets there, but also directly against Amazon. And who could forget the biggest conflict here after Facebook restricted Trump's account following January 6th after his first term? The president had threatened lawsuits and even said that Zuckerberg should be jailed. Now, more recently, and really to the point with these donations, major tech companies have been lobbying hard for a relief from the EU Digital Services Act. So there in Europe, they're really coming down hard on tech companies, especially foreign tech companies, which could be seen as kind of a bargaining chip in tariffs, but also with restrictions and fines against those companies through digital services, their digital services, as well as the taxation on those. President Trump did float sanctions against the EU in August in response to the act, so it does appear that some of this pandering from these companies to the president is working. They are getting a word in his ear, and they are getting some relief from these EU digital services tax, as well as these other regulations and oversight that the EU wants to place on American tech companies. So a lot of these tech companies, especially the CEOs that have not always been on good terms with President Trump, coming back to the White House, trying to get a word in there. We did see Mark Zuckerberg, CEO there of Facebook, of Meta Platforms, attend the White House dinner for tech leaders in September, trying to get back in there into the in crowd, where he pledged at least $600 billion in investments in the U.S. by 2028. Of course, Meta there, the parent of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, very much in the target or in the crosshairs of the federal digital policy initiatives and AI oversight forums there. Again, we saw Apple take a lot of heat from its iPhone manufacturing in China and India. president wanting them to bring that all back to the United States. Not sure if that's really possible and keep a sane price on the iPhone. Company did announce plans in August to invest $100 billion in domestic manufacturing, aligning again with Trump's wishes to reshore that industrial work. And the one that probably needs the most schmoozing here, Amazon and its founder, Jeff Bezos, again, with that history, with him owning the Washington Post, but even more so, the e-commerce and cloud computing company has major federal contracts with the Pentagon, as well as that e-commerce domination that could come under monopoly oversight at some time. It's really cultivated a new relationship with the administration through this kind of lobbying. For its part, it seems that Google has more or less made amends with the administration. The search giant's parent company agreed to pay $24.5 million to settle a dispute with Trump earlier this year on his YouTube ban following that January 6th, just like he was banned on Facebook. He was banned on YouTube as well. That has been settled. Alphabet pledged $22 million of the settlement money to go to the ballroom construction, so a very large donation there. Alphabet has also come under the crosshairs of federal regulation and monopoly complaints there in the courts. It actually got a very good verdict just a couple of months ago that it was not a monopoly and would not have to be completely broken apart. So maybe we're seeing a lot of this lobbying pay off for the company. And finally here, Microsoft, software and cloud provider, has a multi-billion-dollar federal contracts, including AI partnerships, integrating with the U.S. cybersecurity strategy. Microsoft has 27% ownership in OpenAI, which of course is trying to get more of that federal contract money. So very important here that it plays nice with the administration and tries to get into those lobbying efforts. Within these 7 tech donors here, I like Amazon, ticker AMZN, and Microsoft, MSFT, the best. Meta platforms should provide good returns as well. So I think you look at all 3 of those. Amazon is dominating cloud services along with its e-commerce, and it really has grown its advertising segment as well. So not only with Amazon do you have that traditional e-commerce segment that it really controls well, there's really no competition for Amazon with its e-commerce, but it's also dominating the cloud services. That is an integral part of this AI theme, where that's the cloud services, the data center services. That is where AI lives, and it's going to be a growing part of Amazon's business, as well as just that advertising segment that it's just starting to grow. For Microsoft here, again, it does now own 27% of the for-profit OpenAI company, which I think alone could add $1 trillion onto this company's market cap if that ChatGPT continues its AI growth. If it meets some of its revenue and earnings projections there, could be a very big part, kind of a lottery ticket move for Microsoft in the future. We've still got more than a dozen stocks in crypto, Vice stocks, other donors here that are going to benefit. But if you've ever wondered what's in my portfolio or just want to see the stocks I'm buying, you can now by joining me on the Blossom Social Investing app. This is the app we've been waiting for, created for investors by investors. I've been using it for over 2 years now, and I love the app for getting ideas and sharing my own portfolio. And this isn't just another social investing app. You can connect your brokerage accounts or just input your portfolio to see all your stocks in one place, your entire portfolio. You're going to see insights like portfolio percentages across each stock and funds. You're going to see the average dividend yield across the entire group, so all your dividends in one place. You're also going to be able to join more than 500,000 investors in the social feed to see what everyone else is talking about. Now, I've shared my portfolio on the app. It's totally free to download, so look for the special invite link in the description below. Check that out. Back to that list, and the second main group here, the crypto donors. We see donations from Coinbase Global, ticker COIN, along with private company Ripple and stablecoin Tether. And the ballroom also got private donations from Charles Gascaria. He's the co-founder of Paxos there, and both the Winklevoss twins individually, the Winklevi there, founders of the Gemini platform and deep into cryptocurrencies. Both donating there. You got Cameron Winklevoss there and Tyler Winklevoss. Now, all these are going to be lobbying for that special deregulation of fintech, a digital dollar framework in stablecoins, and really just lighter cryptocurrency regulation. The passage in June of the Genius Act was a big step in that direction, setting up really a framework for stablecoins. So how these are going to be done, how they're going to be regulated. There's already seen payments made in digital currencies double from last year to $10.2 billion, a 126% increase in stablecoin payments. That is only going to increase. I'd say that probably doubles, at least maybe triples over the next year, really putting these stablecoins as an alternative to the digital dollar. And even without these donations, before the donations, President Trump has vowed to make the US the most favorable company for cryptocurrency. And all you got to do is follow his own money. And that means that's likely to happen. The Trump family has made over $5 billion on its recent crypto deals and coins, along with the president's $2.5 billion stake in his Trump Media, which is now basically just a cryptocurrency treasury company. Now, again, some of these individual donations, the players in this, we've got Coinbase on the top of the list here. Crypto exchange platform is headed by CEO Brian Armstrong, who supported Trump's push for that looser crypto regulation and a dollar-pegged stablecoins. Okay, Coinbase is also a co-founder of Circle Internet Group, which runs the USDC stablecoin. So not only does it offer stablecoins to the USDC on its platform, but it also receives part of the profits from that USDC trading, okay, from that stablecoin trading in that stablecoin whenever it gets traded. So it's kind of double dipping here on that stablecoin theme there, Coinbase, as well as just being the de facto US exchange for cryptocurrencies. We've also got Ripple here. The blockchain payments network has an interest in Trump's push for the US as a digital asset finance hub. Okay, Ripple not publicly traded, but you can invest in it privately or through some of the coins. You've also got Tether America here, the issuer of the Tether stablecoin, okay, supported Trump's digital dollar alternative framework, probably one of the biggest beneficiaries of the stablecoin movement next to Circle, that Circle Internet Group, which is traded, that CRCL, which runs the USDC. Supply of different stablecoins here. You see about $250 billion. This has grown since then. That Circle USDC coin, about $75 billion right now in the market value in circulation. So we see Tether here, the larger player here in stablecoins, but largely left out of the US stablecoin market because of some of the regulations in that Genius Act. So it is obviously trying to get a word in with Trump to change some of those regulations and get a bigger share of the US market. Within this cryptocurrency theme, I do like Coinbase here, ticker COIN, as really the de facto crypto platform in the US. It has been getting a lot of competition lately from Robinhood. SoFi just announced cryptocurrency trading on its platform, so Coinbase is going to be getting a lot of competition there. I've been playing this mostly, though, through the Grayscale Ethereum mini trust, getting direct ownership of Ethereum there, the ticker ETH. And now the iShares Ethereum Trust, the ticker ETHA. Ethereum is the backbone of stablecoin infrastructure, with the blockchain accounting for nearly half of the volume there. So really the main beneficiary of that stablecoin era, as well as tokenization that is coming. That coming era of stablecoin and tokenization is going to be a surge in Ethereum. And I'm using these ETFs as a way to get exposure to that, and using options to leverage my return higher. Then within that gaming and device donors here, we see Altria Group, ticker MO, the parent company of Marlboro, really pushing for less FDA oversight of its e-cigarettes and its vapes there. We also have donations from the Hard Rock International here. Further down, the Seminole-owned casino and hotel brands chairman Jim Allen once served as the vice president of operations there in the Trump organization. So very much already an in with President Trump, just keeping that relationship open. And then we have the Adelson family down here in the private family donors. The Adelson family, Sheldon Adelson there, the former owner or former founder there of the Las Vegas Sands, the ticker LVS, and a longtime contributor to Republican causes and a supporter of the president there. We also see a lot of these corporate donors here in heavily regulated industries, or those just booking huge contracts with the government. Probably most here, the Palantir, PLTR. Interesting here, they're following its third quarter earnings that showed, despite the government shutdown and all the Doge fears earlier this year. So this year, the Doge shutting down a lot of projects, trying to cut costs within the government. Shares of Palantir plunged on the fear that the government would be kind of reinvestigating some of those contracts, trying to get prices lower, or just shutting down the contracts altogether. but the company actually was able to grow its revenue from the government by 52% to $486 million over the last quarter. So very much getting around a lot of those shutdown fears or a lot of the Doge fears and booking higher and higher revenues, maybe due to these donations and the lobbying efforts by the company. Another one I'd be watching here, NextEra Energy, ticker NEE, really walked a tightrope with Trump in the past. The CEO here, John Ketchum, previously said he agrees with the administration's focus on bringing those jobs back to America, so the reshoring, the manufacturing. But he's also at times criticized Trump's effort to boost the coal industry. Okay, so obviously praising the president's openness to nuclear energy, some of these other alternatives, but also fighting back on that shift back to fossil fuels because of that renewable energy in which the company specializes really isn't getting the attention from this, or any good attention anyway, from this administration. One of the things I really found surprising about this list was we only see one defense contractor here on the list of donors. We've got Lockheed Martin here, ticker LMT. Company's been awarded over $33.4 billion in federal contracts this year alone. But defense spending is a huge pie, really one of the largest parts of government spending. So I would have expected other companies here to get in on these donations. We do see Lockheed Martin in here. I think that is a very strong argument to be looking at these shares, because they are going to be first in line when a lot of these federal defense contracts come out. Other notable donations here include Comcast, that's ticker CMCSA. It's the parent company of NBC Universal, which has always been in Trump's sights. He's been threatening to revoke NBC's license in August. Of course, obviously, their Saturday Night Live always lampooning the president, which he may or may not watch. He says he doesn't, but then, of course, he always tweets against it. We've got T-Mobile here as well. T-Mobile, ticker TMUS, it has a really good relationship with Trump, carries the Trump Organization's branded cell phone service, that Trump Mobile there. So I would definitely be watching TMUS during any kind of needs it has with the federal government. And then Union Pacific Railroad, ticker UNP, is hoping to merge with Norfolk Southern, ticker NSMP, and NSP. That's going to need SEC and government approval for the deal. Going to create a giant railroad network. So Union Pacific definitely trying to get that lobbying effort kickstarted to get that approval for that. Here we've got Booz Allen Hamilton here, ticker BAH, seeing its shares dive this year on fears that AI, artificial intelligence, are going to take over a lot of the business consulting that it does. But it has found a friend in the government, reporting 90% of its quarterly bookings from the national security work that it does. So obviously, this kind of lobbying paying off very well for Booz Allen Hamilton. Again, some of these donors, especially the private and the family donations, long-time consistent donors to the president and Republican causes. And so favoritism isn't guaranteed, but it's not a long shot either. Okay, donating to one of the president's main legacy moves, right? He wants this ballroom. He says he's not going to name it after himself, but I think we kind of know better. Definitely puts these companies at the front of the line for that lobbying. I'd watch these stocks ahead of any key decisions. Join me on the Blossom Social Investing app and see all the stocks in my portfolio, and join over 500,000 investors to see what everyone is talking about. It's all totally free with a special invite link below. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.